Welcome folks, today's video is going to be a fun video, and that is a tier list ranking all of the guest characters in NetherRealm games. So every single one of the guest characters, all 14 of them, from Mortal Kombat 9 to Mortal Kombat 11. Now I asked you guys on Twitter, which by the way go follow me on Twitter, link down below, and also on the community poll here on YouTube on whether I should hold off on this video until Ash Williams comes out or a Combat Pack 2 comes out for MK11, because we are expecting those. But I said, fuck that. We are probably going to have to wait for a while until those characters come, or at least until Ash Williams comes out, because of this whole virus thing going around. NetherRealm employees are probably not in studio right now, at least not a lot of them. So I expect some sort of hiccups to be happening. So while we wait, why not just rank the ones that we have right now? I know the whole tier list thing kind of died down. I mean, people were popping them out left and right like 6 months ago on many different subjects, and I wanted to do one for a while. But I mean, it's not like that stopped True Underdog from posting a tier list every other hour. Just kidding, Underdog. You're all good. Most of your tier lists are good. Most of them. A couple of things to note here. I am not ranking them based on how OP or weak they were as characters in their game. This is purely based on how well they were represented in the game. Also, if you want to make one of your own, I made one for the tier list maker on the tier list maker website. So click the link down below if you want to make one of your own. And lastly, I'll be going in order from Mortal Kombat 9 to Mortal Kombat 11. So without further ado, let's get started with Mortal Kombat 9. So the first guest character that we ever got was Kratos, who is a PlayStation exclusive character and was on the game at launch. Now I know some people may say, well, you know, he shouldn't really be on this list because he's an exclusive character. And to those people, I say you can shut the fuck up, because Kratos is definitely going in the S tier. This character was so badass. When we got Kratos, they got his original voice actor at the time back. And even though it was for one line of dialogue, it shows that a lot of effort was put into him. Also, he came with an alternate skin, which back in those days, DLC characters or any sort of guest character getting skins, alternate skins, was kind of a radical thing if you really think about it. And he also came with his own stage too, which was, I think, the Chamber of the Flame, and the music on that stage was just super badass because it came directly from God of War 3. And also that stage had a stage fatality that you can interact with. So NetherRealm literally found a way to use some of God of War's mechanics and put them into this character and put him into the stage. I also think Kratos had a special move that was like a quick time event. So that was super cool. But yeah, this character was awesome. One of the few guest characters that I would really like to see back in a Mortal Kombat game. Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger was our first DLC character, a character that you have to pay for. And guys, he could have been S tier, but he's not S tier. This character could have been spot on perfect, but there's two things that bring him down to A tier. We're gonna put him, oh, that's bad. We're gonna put him at A tier. Number one was the two gloves. That shit was so stupid. Now I understand why they did that, because they've always had a problem with characters that have one big arm or one glove and having it stay on that arm and not switching when the character side switches. But literally no one cares about that. It's all normal. If it's normal on the default stance, then it's just fine. We understand that. And number two, and this is the biggest offender of them all, is that they used Reboot Freddy instead of Robert Englund Freddy. Cringe. So if Freddy had one glove and they used Robert Englund Freddy, he would have been S tier. Hands down, he would have been S tier. But we are probably going to have to put him at A tier like I already did. Injustice 1. There was only one guest character in Injustice 1, and that was Scorpion. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like the fact that Scorpion was a guest character in Injustice 1. But I don't care, because I didn't care about Injustice when it came out. Like, I literally had no interest in the game. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to buy this game. But when Scorpion came out, when they announced Scorpion was going to be a DLC character, I said, you know what? Let me buy the game. Let me buy the game and let me buy the character. And he's fine. I mean, he's just Scorpion. He plays like Scorpion. He doesn't play anything special. special. The design is kind of whack. For a person who's supposed to be a ninja, it's way too armory, but at the same time, it's alright. Nothing real special, so we'll probably put him at the C tier. You know, he's still Scorpion. He's still Scorpion. Nothing is too radically changed about him in terms of gameplay or anything about the character. So we'll put him at C tier. Nothing really too special. Mortal Kombat X. Now I have a lot of opinions here. So the first guest character that we got was Jason. Fuck this character. We're gonna put Jason at the E tier. Now again, this isn't based on how good they were in terms of gameplay, because I know all of those FGC randos, those randos on Twitter, randos in the comments below are gonna be like, well, you know, Jason was S tier. He was probably the best character in the game. Yeah, shut the fuck up. I don't care. This is about how well they were represented. Jason in Mortal Kombat X feels like the people who made him only watched Freddy versus Jason as a reference, which is kind of cringy. Now, to be fair, there are a lot of little references to the other Friday the 13th movies in his character, but overall, he kind of just gives the vibes, like Jason in Mortal Kombat X kind of gives the vibes that he's just a regular dude. Like, he kind of just looks like a regular dude cosplaying as Jason. I mean, his fatalities are kind of dog shit too. I mean, one of his fatalities is called the sleeping bag, which is a reference to Friday the 13th Part 7, like a kill he did in that movie. And it literally is nothing like that. All he does is just slams you on the ground and you lose your limbs for no reason. Like, it's just kind of dumb. Also, when you think of Jason, you think of him with his machete. Like, all the time you think of him with his machete. And he literally only has that in one variation, and that's his worst variation. Like, what in the world is this, bro? Like, come on, man. So, yeah, Jason is definitely going at E tier. Predator, on the other hand, Predator is the complete opposite. Predator is a completely different story. Predator was probably one of the only few guest characters I was genuinely excited for. Like, I couldn't wait to play as the Predator. And he turned out to be really awesome. I mean, he was just extremely fun to play. The sounds that he would make in the fights with all the clicking and the mocking and everything like that, like he would do in the movies, would be so badass. And they also used the classic Predator, which was nice in terms of default design. And they also got Carl Weathers to be a skin for Jax. Now, I know that has nothing to do with his character, but still, if we didn't get Predator, we wouldn't have got that skin. So that was pretty awesome. I guess the only two things that bring him down would be his fatalities. His fatalities are kind of lame, but at the same time, his brutalities make up for it, because his brutalities are really nice. Also, his outro was basically a fatality in of itself. So that was also pretty good. So we're probably going to put him at S tier. Those brutalities in the outro really make up for it. So Predator is definitely an S tier guest character. Leatherface is also going in the S tier. Leatherface has to go in the S tier. Now, I remember literally nobody asking for Leatherface to be in MKX. Literally not one person have I seen ask for Leatherface. But he ended up being so legit. Like, this character ended up being so freaking awesome. Like, if you watch any of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, any of them, and you played MKX, you would say that this is a perfect representation of the character. Now, I didn't play him as much as I played Predator, but he was still incredibly fun to play. Like, everybody I talked to say that Leatherface was so fun to play. That unblockable chainsaw move, that was the GOAT, man. That was the GOAT. Also, his screams and his like noises, his grunts and all that, it was just so perfect. It literally sounded like Leatherface from the movies. Definitely an S tier character. I really did like Leatherface in MKX. He just fits so well, despite the fact that nobody asked for him. Now, the last guest in MKX, which was Alien. Yeah, fuck this character. Fuck this character. He is he is going in F tier. I am putting Alien in F tier. I'm sorry, Alien mains. Your character is going in F tier. Definitely the definition of a forced guest character for the sake of let's have Alien versus Predator. Like, the thing with the xenomorphs is that they aren't fighters. Like, they're mainly bug-like, crawling around on the walls, crawling around on the floor and everything. So what they did to excuse the fact so Alien could be in this game is to literally give him Baraka's blades and say, oh, well, there we go. Xenomorph with Baraka's blades. Baraka Xenomorph, let's go. Hee hee hee. We can do it. Like, really? 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 Like, who else cringed? Some of the fatalities also look really stupid on him. Like, I think Raiden's eye burst fatality, literally nothing comes out and then his head is clipping through everything. It just looks insanely, like, forced. I just feel like this character was forced into the game for the sake of, let's have Alien versus Predator in MKX. Like, come on, bro. Like, give us a Mortal Kombat character instead. He was also insanely overpowered. Like, they would not nerf this character until the very end. Until the very end of MKX's lifespan. And he was, like, almost impossible to beat. Like, once a really good player got to him, oh my god, it was so annoying. So annoying. So, yeah, definitely Alien's going into the F tier because he just seemed very forced and he was just a very annoying character. Injustice 2 time. So it was only reasonable. It was only reasonable that another Mortal Kombat character would make their way into the game. And now that Scorpion had his time, it is now Sub-Zero's time. Now I actually mained this character. Sub-Zero is actually a main of mine, along with Supergirl in Injustice 2. And to be honest, Injustice 2 Sub-Zero was actually probably the best version of Sub-Zero that we had in terms of gameplay. He was so much fun to play. I remember people were saying, but he's literally a copy and paste from MKX. Stop it. You haven't even played the character. I mean, yes, he looks similar in terms of animation, but in terms of gameplay and how he plays, way different. Completely different. And he was fun for it. He was really fun for it in Injustice 2. Although he was fun to play, he kind of sucks in terms of where he landed in the tier list. And his gear was kind of cringy. Like, he just had a whole bunch of robot stuff that looked just super ugly. You would just make him look like a robot if you wanted to have, like, the best gear on him. So the fact that he kind of got pummeled in the gameplay, that kind of made it a little bit unfun because it kind of made you seem like you were unviable to so many characters. And the fact that his gear was kind of cringy, we'll put him at C tier. But this is a generous C tier because, again, this character was my main. This character was my main along with Supergirl. Raiden in Injustice 2 was pretty much in the same boat. Now, I remember when the idea, or when it was looking like Raiden was going to make it in the game, so many people got so furious at the idea of Raiden's existence in Injustice 2. They were like in the biggest denial that I have ever seen in the community. People were literally trying to find ways to think that he won't be playable, that he won't be in the game, saying shit like, oh, Raiden's gonna appear in the trailer and then Black Lightning is just gonna punch him away and punch him out of existence, and then Black Lightning is the character we're gonna be getting for DLC. Or, well, Johnny Cage could be wearing his hat because, you know, he said that he made a joke about wearing Raiden's hat in MKX. So, maybe Johnny Cage is the character? Like, it's just some bullshit cringe thing that people were talking about. But alas, we got Raiden, and we still got him, and he ended up having the best super move in the game. I still remember it. It was so awesome. Now, I didn't play this character as much as I played Sub-Zero. I mean, I played him a lot still, but I didn't main him. He was still fun to play, but he got kind of pummeled in the tier list. Like, he got pummeled by every single character in Injustice 2. He might have been the worst character in the game, so that kind of made it a little bit unfun. Also, his gear was kind of cringe. His default design here was kind of cringe too. I don't know what the heck the mask is supposed to be. So I say this was with love as well. We're probably going to put Raiden in the C tier. Now, if it was in terms of personal taste, I would put him in A tier because I really did enjoy him. I was genuinely excited for Raiden. But I'll put him in C tier. If I'm talking objectively, we'll put him in C tier. So again, I put these Mortal Kombat characters in C tier with love because these Mortal Kombat characters actually got me around in Injustice 2. Like, it got me to stick around in the Injustice days because I'm not really much of an Injustice guy. So when Mortal Kombat characters come, I'm genuinely interested because I'm Mortal Kombat gay. So when you put Mortal Kombat characters in that game, you're going to get me interested. So Hellboy, I literally have zero thoughts on him. I have no thoughts on Hellboy. Like, my mind went blank when I saw his gameplay trailer, and my mind still goes blank now when I try to think about him and his presence in Injustice 2. This is one of the only characters where I literally just have no opinion on. Like, I just don't have anything to say about Hellboy. Like, has anyone else had this problem? Has anyone else tried or had a difficult time trying to think of one single thing about Hellboy in Injustice 2? Like, when you go back and you think of Predator, you think, oh my god, he had that skinned alive brutality, which was awesome. When you think about Freddy, you think about how awesome he was to play and how those blade zonings, or the glove zoning was so super cool. Even when you have Alien, you think about how OP and how insanely annoying he was to play against. With Hellboy, what is there to think? Like, what is it? I just don't know. I just don't know anything that comes to mind when it comes to Hellboy. So I'm definitely probably going to put him at E tier. Like, I just do not have any... Well, at the same time, he's not bad. Like, he's not bad, but at the same time, he's just nothing. I just don't have any thoughts. I'm having a hard time thinking of one iconic thing about him in Injustice 2, and I can't find a single thing. So we'll put him at D tier for just not at least sucking. You know, he doesn't suck. It's just nothing. Just nothing. And last, but certainly not least for Injustice 2, is the Ninja Turtles. Let's expand this thing. Yeah, the Ninja Turtles. Guys. We all know where these characters belong. We all know where they belong. It would be criminal. I would be some sort of disgusting human being if I didn't put them in S tier. These characters are definitely going in S tier. Ninja Turtles in S tier for sure. They still are the best guest characters NetherRealm has put in their games to date. I don't think any guest character is as awesome as the Turtles were. I don't think any guest character got anyone more hyped than the Ninja Turtles. Well, now, not everyone was hyped, but I think the amount of hype that was around the Ninja Turtles when they were revealed, it was just insane. I was hyped, and I do not give a single shit about the Turtles, but I was hyped. I'm not a Ninja Turtles guy again. I'm not a Ninja Turtles guy, but holy shit, I was hyped as hell. That was super freaking awesome. And they were super freaking awesome. Absolutely fantastic. 4 characters all in one, and all of them, Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo, had different intros and personalities, unlike Triborg, and they all played differently, and you can still call in all the turtles despite, it doesn't matter which turtle you play as. So overall, Turtles are definitely going in S tier. They were just completely awesome. So we are here with Mortal Kombat 11. 3 characters so far. We're going to have Ash, but the 3 characters that we have, Spawn, Joker, and Terminator. So our first guest character is the Terminator. Our first guest character was the Terminator, Arnold. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan of him in this game. I gotta be honest, I'm not really a big fan. Yes, we have Arnold's face in the game, but Arnold's not voicing him. He sounds fine. Like, the person who's doing an Arnold impression I think it's all right. But just not having him as the actual voice is kind of a bummer. He doesn't have a T2 skin, which is fucking weird. He also doesn't really look that flashy. Like, he doesn't really look cool to fight against, and he doesn't look fun to watch. He kind of just reminds me of Jason with a gun. So, yeah, I mean, there's no young Arnold skin. There's just, I don't know. I mean, his outros and his cinematics are pretty good, but I don't know. Like, it just imagine the fact that we don't have young Arnold in this game is like not having reboot Freddy or not having Robert Englund Freddy in MK9. Just imagine if Freddy was in this game and all the skins that we got was reboot Freddy and not Robert Englund Freddy. I imagine Terminator fans feel the same way. They feel like, oh, I'm reminded of the new movies. I'm reminded of Dark Fate. I'm reminded of Genesis every single time I play Terminator because that's all the skins that we have is old Arnold. And old Arnold was Terminator Genesis and Terminator Dark Fate, and I hear those movies are garbage, so being reminded of something that's not good is kind of cringe, so we'll put him at D tier, because Arnold, you get some points for being Arnold, or having Arnold in this game, and also the cinematics and some of the fatalities being cool, so we'll put him at D tier, but overall, not a fan of Terminator in this game. Joker, on the other hand, Joker, Mr. Society over here, is the complete opposite. I love this character. Another weird and odd choice for DLC. But he was definitely worth it. They really made the most out of this character. Like, he isn't like creepy knife man. He isn't creepy guy with a knife. No, he is literally the clown prince of crime in this game. He's funny. He's goofy. He's over the top. He's flashy. He looks fun to play. He is fun to play. And they took that setup character that they tried to make of him in Injustice and Injustice 2. That didn't really work well, and they made it work so well in MK11. Like, they finally nailed the Joker character in MK11, and I think it's probably because of the violence. I think the violence really got to him, and I think his friendship fatality might be the best in the game. Might be. I don't know. There's still some fatalities that I think of that are pretty good and that would be top tier, but Joker's is also there too. Also, without him, we wouldn't have got those badass DC skins for the MK characters. Like, those skins are so awesome. So without Joker, we wouldn't have got those skins. So definitely because of that fact, we're not just solely because of that fact, we just be solely for the fact that he was just so good overall. He's so fun to play. Sonic Fox makes him look so awesome. He's definitely going in S tier. I think Joker needs to go in S tier. And for now, not forever, the last character that we have for MK11, or the last guest character we have for MK11, is Spawn. Now, you guys know me. I'm not really a big Spawn guy. I have no interest in the character. I know of him. I know who he is. Despite the fact that I don't care about him, despite the fact that I didn't want him in the game, he's actually pretty good in this game. Keith David doing the voice again is just fucking top tier in of itself. So his intros are awesome. His cinematics are fucking badass. He visually looks badass. He isn't my type of character in terms of gameplay feel, but that's just me. And I can still get around his gameplay if I really want to play him. And I can see people really having fun with this character. Like, I can see like, oh yeah, I can see this being somebody else's playstyle. It's just not mine. They also made his cape work really well. They really did nail his cape in this game, because that's always been an issue, I think, for NetherRealm to not put him in any of the previous games, was because they had a hard time just animating a cape for their own characters, so they probably weren't going to put Spawn in. But now they finally nailed it. They finally got it, and it looks really good. I will say Spawn is definitely worth his stay in MK11. He is definitely a character that I feel is worth his stay. We're going to put him in the B tier, because he's just cool. He is just really good, but just not as good as, like, you know, these characters. But that doesn't mean that he's bad, you know? B tier. Alrighty, guys. I think this is the most accurate tier list to rank all of the guest characters in NetherRealm games. And if not, like iDub said with his food tier list, fucking prove it. Prove that your tier list is better than mine. Prove it. I want to see. I challenge people to challenge my tier list. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let me know in the comments below what you guys think about my tier list. Do you guys agree with my tier list, or do you guys not agree with my tier list? Or if you have some slight differences, let me know your own tier list in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I would very, very much appreciate a big thumbs up on this video, and also subscribe for more Mortal Kombat content. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next video.